Hi, welcome to YoMathStudy. I'm Johan. Welcome to the channel. I have to make sure that you guys hit the subscribe button, make sure that you follow up with everything that's going on here. My story with math. First off, I never thought that I was going to be a math teacher. Never in my life did I think that would ever happen. When I was growing up, I guess you could say my claim to fame to so-called being good at math was that I could count to 100 when I was like 3. But being able to count has nothing to do with math. I often got in trouble with math a lot. I had the workbooks and things. I was homeschooled for the first maybe 8-9 years of my life. So workbooks, books to read, a lot of that stuff. I watched a lot of TV, a lot of educational television programming. But I love to read, I love science. I was willing to learn just about anything. Math was actually my biggest struggle point, probably somewhere around long division and fractions. I was homeschooled till I was in about 3rd grade, then I moved to Southern California, and from there I was able to go from 3rd and skip 4th grade into 5th grade because I was able to do math at about a 5th grade level, and my reading was at a 6th grade level. So I was in 5th grade the next year, everything's going fine. I get to 6th grade, I changed schools. 6th grade, I started having a lot more trouble. Then 7th grade, it got a lot worse. And that's when I started getting in trouble a lot more. I can't go out, can't do this, can't do that. Math was really kind of the bane of my existence. And if you ask most people like science better than they like math. Even if the science involves a little bit of math, it's usually a minimal amount that people can deal with. I'm doing fine in all of my classes, but I'm constantly getting into it with my mother on math and all these things. And then finally, sometime around high school, I said, "Ma, everybody has tutors." And that's when I think she kind of had the realization of why some people were able to get further ahead than I was. So I did have tutors sometimes. I met with my teachers a lot. I met with this person, I met with that person. I'm not really getting any further, and I had to really work hard to get a B on a test. Often people were saying that I was making careless mistakes, which I'll talk about later. So I go through high school, I'm working. I get up to calculus. I get usually about a C+ in my class. Even in the SATs, I took one of the SAT programs and stuff, and it was around then that when they gave us those questions, it was like I knew that people were trying to trick me when it came to math. So even still, I'm constantly doing better on my verbals than on my math section, whatever it may be. Freshman year of college comes around, we have at least a first semester math requirement. And I get Calc 1 with Professor Erica Flapan. First of all, Professor Flapan, if you're seeing this right now, thank you so much. I owe you so much. I remember asking other students, "Hey, have you ever had this professor before?" And they were like, "Oh yeah, she's really good. She's hard, but she's good." And I said, "Okay, that's fine. I mean, I went to a hard school. I took hard classes. I think I'm fine with it." And so first day of class comes, and here comes this little lady coming into class, really big glasses. She looks around and she says, "All right, well, this is Calc 1. I'm Professor Erica Flapan, and I'm gonna let you guys know right now that I don't use calculators and I only do hard problems. So if you want a more basic class, you might want to go to one of these other classes." Now, a couple people got up and left, and I thought she was just kind of saying that to kind of thin out the herd, right? And all my friends are in this class. I'm not going anywhere, right? She wasn't kidding. Maybe 5 problems for homework, and me and my 2 friends are sitting there probably for 2 hours trying to get through these problems, which looking back probably weren't as hard as we thought. But you got to understand that one of my friends was a physics major. The other one hardly ever had to study for tests in math and got A's and B's, and they're both looking at this stuff like kind of dumbfounded. And so my anxiety is going through the roof because how am I going to survive this now, right? So first test comes, I do the test, I get a D. And I went and met with my professor, and I said, look, I can't do this, so I got to figure something out. So I went back to what I knew, meeting with the teacher, doing extra problems, trying to get some advice. At one point, I'm going to the mentor sessions. I'm helping the mentor with the other kids. You could have given me basically any problem, and I would have been able to get about 75% of the way through it. Okay, so next test comes. I got my notes with me, at least a page of notes front and back. I got my notes perfectly organized. I'm ready to go. I go on the test, do whatever I can do, get it back. Did worse on that one than I did on the first one, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do here? I just kind of laughed, and the thing is that she wasn't kidding, that the tests were harder than the homework, and apparently somebody in the class was like getting an A and throwing off the curve. And I don't know what grades anybody else got, but a lot of people, you could see and feel the defeat on everyone. Whereas for me, I just kind of laughed because I thought to myself, if I ever worked this hard in high school, I would have understood math better. Because I understood math better at this point, but not well enough to pass her test. So I didn't really know what to do. But at this point, I'm a little bit afraid of failing. I can't fail in college on my own, So not too long after that, at this point, I started tutoring kids in math because I was well enough at math at that point that I could at least tutor kids, get a little money for it. So I'm tutoring this one kid, and he gets this problem in his textbook that goes, there's this many tables and this many chairs. How many different seating arrangements can you do? And I'm looking at it like, I don't know. I can do as many seating arrangements as I want. If I want to pile chairs on top of the table, like that's a seating arrangement, right? So one of the things that she always said was, if you have trouble with a problem, try drawing it first. So I said, all right, let me try drawing it. So I drew a couple of circles for tables. Then I put some numbers there for chairs, and then I just kind of started doing it, and then I kind of got the answer, like it just kind of came out of my hand. I didn't know what I was really doing, but I was did the problem, and I got the answer. And the kid is sitting next to me, and he's like, how'd you do that? I was like, I don't know. I didn't know how to explain it, but I knew that if there was an explanation, then there's an explanation, that there's something that I needed to understand. And that's when I started asking more questions to delve deeper into what I didn't understand. And then, see, this is the thing that she did for me, is that she explained things extremely simply. Okay? Drawing it. This was the first time that I had actually connected the idea that percentages and decimals and fractions are all forms of division. Just before we started this camera today, I literally forgot how to write the division sign because I don't write the division sign anymore. I write them as fractions. But actually, when you look at this is a fraction, right? If I put a number over a number and divide it, that's what a division sign is. And so all of these little nuances and these connections started really coming together. And I'll never forget, there was another kid that I started tutoring soon after that, and as he was doing an algebra problem, I saw him making the same mistake over and over and over again. And then once I set him correct on that mistake, he didn't make the mistake anymore. And that's when I started learning that that's what people were calling my careless mistakes, that there was a nuance in my understanding that I just didn't get. And that was what was causing me to not get further. So in general, I've actually found that a lot of people have extremely common mistakes that they make in math that make them think that they're not good at math. And let me tell you, from then on, I started tutoring, I was teaching, and I mainly did that as side gigs and side money and things like that. But as the years went on and I saw these common mistakes happening more and more and more, and more people telling me that they weren't good at math, they don't think that it's for them. Oh, I was terrible at it. Math is something so beyond their scope. And me and my friends, when we got past that class, I was able to get to Calc 2. Calc 3 was my ceiling, but it was because of that teacher that I believed that I could learn whatever I wanted. And once that was unlocked in me, I knew the bigger potential that I had. I've been able to learn computer programs a lot faster. I unlocked my better potential because then I suddenly trusted myself more. And so that's why I'm really doing these videos. I really want to unlock the potential of so many other people out there that had they not had a teacher like mine, they would have just said, oh, that's it. That's all for me. But I see so many people with so many other gifts and talents that if they knew math a little bit better, it would skyrocket. And so the next set of videos, I'm going to talk about some of those common mistakes and those common things that make people, quote unquote, bad at math. And so I want you to know by hearing that story that I do identify with math anxiety. It's not something that goes away easily. It's not something that's going to go away immediately. But when you do get through that anxiety, when you become comfortable with what you don't know and become comfortable with growth, because you may not be there right now, but you will get there. And so believe me, you're talking to a person that understands, and I've been doing this for 20 years and I've helped unlock a lot of potential. So with that, we're going to end this, and I'm going to let you know at least maybe 4 reasons why you think that you're bad at math, but you're not really bad at math. See you on the next one.